We are back with Find the Berries, and yes, I am back talking. For some reason you all missed my voice, so here we go. If I can ask, if you do enjoy this video, if you can drop it a like, leave me a comment, and of course hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So we're starting off with the Easter berry. So as I said before, I absolutely love this game. I love the updates, I love the characters, they keep it fresh, they keep it fun. There's loads of different challenge elements to this game, so please keep the updates coming. So Easter was a little bit late, it's only available for a limited time. I don't know till when, it doesn't say. So for Easter berry, it asks you to go ahead and find 10 eggs around the map, but as I said, you are gonna have to be quick. This is a limited berry. They've also reached 100,000 visits. Well done, this is really well deserved. This is a really fun game if you do enjoy the Find the Scavenger Hunt games and haven't tried this one, you need to give this game a go. Highly recommended by me. There is a new area coming soon, so I am looking forward to doing that update. So our first Easter egg is over on this kind of abandoned island over here, and we've got the cave outside Easter egg. So what's nice is that the eggs are kind of dotted in each area, so I don't have to look outside the cave anymore, I can move on to the next area. So while we're here, we will drop into the cave. And there it is, cheekily hidden behind the sign, we have the cave Easter egg. Moving into the jungle, and we are at the back of the circus tent, but inside of this plant here we have the jungle Easter egg. And then into Clown Circus, and tucked behind the sign is another egg. Would I class that as another main area? Probably not, but I checked there and I found one. Down to the bridge, so this is where we found all those little berries like ear and nose. Into the Bridge King's house, and tucked underneath the dining room chair we find the next Easter egg. That one was tucked away really well. And then we're going across the bridge now, and we're heading towards that tower in the distance. I could have probably teleported to jungle and made my way back, but I didn't think. And there we go, we have got the tower Easter egg. Teleporting over to the beach. And we can see it just tucked there by the rocks, and we have the beach Easter egg. Now this is the point where I thought, oh my god, there's one in the beach. There better not be one in the trench, because I can't see in the trench at all. It's probably the worst area of the map for me. I can't see a thing. So we're just going to take a look around the ocean first. But there we go, we've just seen a hint of the blue egg there, thank god. I am leaving the trench till last. We haven't checked Heaven Hotel. Now I did actually check the entire hotel and didn't find one, and I thought I'll just check outside, and there is one on the window. Why didn't I go outside in the first place? Ugh. And then on to Picnic Island, and again I was dreading having to go down that anthill again. I was really hoping it was going to be sort of in the tree, or at least out in the open somewhere. This was a bit difficult to look inside of the bush, so I was just trying to double check, and there it was. There is the Easter egg. I couldn't have been happier. We can also see the new island that's been added. I will come back once we've finished Easter to show you the beanstalk. that finishes off all of the eggs. We can go back to the Easter berry to collect them. And there we go. So again, this one's limited. You need to get in there sort of now to go ahead and collect that berry. Moving around now onto the beach area. So hot dog, we've got a new hot dog stand. So clicking, I think I clicked it, I can't remember now. So go in there, try giving it a click. If not, just jumping on it, you'll get teleported. And then we've got this lovely obby over the hot dogs. Could you imagine just like obbying over and going like and eating that one and then eating the other one? I sort of hope that sort of the background may have not have been beach but kind of full on hot dog theme, but there we go, we have got the berry. So I applaud the developer for how they've hidden Sandcastle. So I was sort of expecting, I don't know, maybe like a veiled entrance or a drop down through the sand. Wasn't expecting Sandcastle to be where it was. So I was just making my way around the map, having a mooch around. And this is where I always advocate the zoomed out view, because this is where it's your friend. What is that underneath the map here? Oh, that's a ledge. Guess where Sandcastle is? Right there. And this was the point that I forgot that I could crouch. So I was sort of like, how am I going to get under there? Because I can't really jump across. I completely forgot about crouch. So turn that on. Boom! I kept it on for the entire way. And there we go, we have Sandcastle. Love that one, a bit more challenging. So when I went back to beach, I was really fortunate that someone was kind enough to then give me viral berry. So if anybody needs it, come and ask me and I can now give you viral berry. Now I've been given it. So thank you so much to that player, really grateful for that. Moving around now to Picnic, I said we'd come back, and this is to go ahead and get Beanstalk. So you will need to have Cloudberry, I think, because Cloudberry is helping me out here. So much like orangutan with the lift, Cloudberry has taken me over. If you haven't got Cloudberry yet, please do have a look at my previous videos. It's in with the Heaven Hotel outside. You need to walk down and find the little ledge, but I do show you in an earlier video. And then we come on to this. Now, I don't suck so much at obbies, but I do. And this is just like a ongoing on and on obby. And there's no checkpoint, so if you fall off, you're basically going to have to start it all over again. It may help you. I did do it multiple times. It may help you to have the sprint on and off, depending on the size of the jump and what you feel comfortable with. When I had sprint on for some of them, I did overshoot the ledge, so it was infuriating, to be honest. And this is where my heart sank. I'm like, it's going on and on and on above the clouds. This is like Tower of Hell. There's two things I sort of hate in these games that I'm not any good at. It's obbies and mazes. I will get onto that latter point in a moment. So literally just make your way up. I'm sure for the players and viewers that are much better at obbies, this is going to be a breeze for you. So for this section, make sure you have your sprint on, and then you've got these lovely sections that you need to crouch and crawl. So I love that they're bringing in the functionality that they've got in the game. Except make sure that when you've crouched, you turn your sprint back on, because obviously I just fluffed it and I've had to start all the way at the bottom again. Woohoo! So back to where we were. This time I'm going to double check that sprint is on, which it is now. We are so close to the end, I can taste it. Crouch again, make sure that sprint is on again if you need it. again, just going to put it on for the wall twists. And then we've got these blocks, and I already kind of have it in the pit of my stomach. I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to fall at this point. I'm so close to the end, I can taste it. And look, there it is. I fluffed it. So yeah, I'm rage quitting. I'm going to come back and do that. So carry on up and you will get the beanstalk berry. Moving round now to calm down and to go into the trench. So again, make your way into the sea, down into the ocean. So what was really weird, when I first came into this area, there was a big wooden block that you had to push out the way and then swim into the trench. But for me, that's now disappeared. I didn't have to do that, so you can swim straight down. And we are in the worst place for me ever, which is the trench. So we'll start off with anglerfish, but I'm not sure how on earth you're supposed to see where I am based on this video, because it's pitch black nearly. Like, the lamp does something, but not a lot, come on. So I was literally just following the wall and just kind of checking the area. As I said, trench isn't my area, I don't really like it, so I'm treating it very much like a maze. And then in that gap there is anglerfish. So again, I don't know how you're going to reference it, but there is like a little ledge, so if it all fails, just swim round the wall and you'll find it. It's not too far from the submarine, okay? So moving on to Atlantis, so stay in the trench. So I was obviously at anglerfish. I've just put the video back again. So this is the submarine, so I said it's literally around the corner. But what's that in the wall? That would be a gap. There we go, and look, this player is swimming in, so we're going to follow. And here is the teleport. So you do need 50 berries before you can use the teleport to Atlantis, so just be careful of that. Swimming across, and we have our first one of octopus, or octo-ups. Hit the checkpoint as well, because this will be really useful when you're doing the kraken, because I can guarantee you won't find your way out again. You're going to have to teleport out. Bit of a long conversation with the octopus there. So before I actually knew what this was for, I could see that there was an Atlantis shell. So I've got 5 out of 6. So there's obviously 6 shells that we need to collect, and this will probably be to collect a berry. And we have found our next Atlantis shell, which is number 3. And you can see that's just round the corner from the kraken's lair. When I thought about Atlantis, sometimes they do sort of like the statues that are all broken and stuff like that. Maybe just to have made it feel a bit more like Atlantis. So we are entering the kraken's lair. Going down the left tunnel, we are presented with this guessing game, and it says which looks slightly different, so you probably need your lamp on to try and see the difference. But can you see that the door is slightly a different colour? That is what you're looking for. And then you're presented with this. They both look the same. I tried multiple times and the black was actually darker. Couldn't believe that. So look for the one that looks darker than before. And then eventually you will get through to activate the button. And this is the first button of 4. So with that one, trial and error, but as I said, lamp, look for the darker one. I don't know if it changes every server. You can try following my path. As I said, I don't know if it's going to stay the same. And then we're into my idea of hell. Now this maze is probably one of the worst mazes I've ever been in. Look at that bad boy. It is on multiple layers, it's all tunnels, it's absolutely enormous. So I've sped this up because really you ain't going to be able to follow me. The only advice that I can truly give you for this area is follow the one wall round and just keep following it. It's ridiculous. I'm so sorry. I think the first button is sort of on the middle layer is probably the best advice I can give you. So don't keep dropping down. But if you shift lock out and look outside, you'll see a yellow floor. The buttons both have yellow floors, so if you see that yellow floor, go for it because that is a button. So I actually teleported out of the maze because there is absolutely no way that I'm going to find my way out. So I thought that was that. It's all done. I don't have to do that maze anymore. So went into the third tunnel. So this third tunnel is sort of like a time obby, so it's an escape challenge basically. So you'll go in here, the wall will go up and then the next wall will go down, which will allow you to go into the next room. Thank God it's not a swim obby. So when the challenge starts, these blue blocks will light up and then you will see the green areas appear. So this will allow you to continue the obby. And then like a rising lava challenge, the water's coming in, so you're going to have to avoid dropping off or hitting that water. So for the first room, you don't have to rush particularly much. Take your time, get through the obby. And again, going through the room, the door will go up and then the next door will go down. And it's just pressing the buttons in order. Again, you've got to be slightly quicker because you've got to get off that floor. And here comes the water. And then this is essentially going back on yourself. Again, you don't have to be super quick in this room, but obviously don't dawdle. You're going to have to get through it before that water touches you. Again, like I haven't got my sprint on to make sure I can make those jumps, so just to show you you can do it without your sprint. Now for this next room, sorry, time is of the essence, you are going to have to be quick because that water will cover the platforms that you need at the end to get on the truss. So make sure this one you are quick. So again, going sort of back on yourself to the suspended platform. And we've got to jump over. This one has actually got a crouch, so crouch down, stand up, jump round onto your next one. And this is the crucial bit. See those platforms with the truss? See the water coming up really quick? You've got to get there before that water covers it. That's why I said be quick. And then again, the door goes up, the other one goes down. Luckily, I took a deep breath because this is the button we don't have to do any more rooms. And then my heart sank because I'm a button short. And it's right next to the one that I found in the maze. Oh, my heart sank. I know that I missed one in the world's worst maze ever. So back into hell. Oh, I can't believe I had to go back in this maze. So this one I'm just going to skip because it took me forever to find this button. So eventually I found it. Again, you can see it's got a yellow floor. So now that we've got all 4 buttons, Kraken's lair will open. So again, a lovely bit of scripting to this game. I am a massive fan of this game. But what I will do is just swim backwards so you can see the room that I ended up in. And this is the room that you have to get to. How you get to it, I'm so sorry, you're on your own. But once you get in the room, it's really unmistakable. Like, once you're there, you sort of know that you're in that area, and it's sort of down near the bottom, if that helps. You can see I'm on almost the very bottom of the maze here. So let me just swim out so you can see I've gone down and down. There's no sort of offshoots to this area, there's just dead ends, so if you go down the wrong one, it will just take you back. So this is the room that you need. and it's got sort of 5 tunnels leading off to it. It's a massive kind of open square room. You can't miss it. So it's this one here, the long straight tunnel is the one that you need. So find that room, second tunnel. And now the challenge is on. JudgementTV versus the krakenberry. So swimming down into the kraken's lair, and this is a swim for survival, and it's basically trying to do it as quick as you can without hitting the obstacles, because believe me, that kraken catches you really quick. So it may help you, especially in the next section, not to have your lamp on, because I sort of found when I had my lamp on, I started to get stuck in the walls. So mind the kind of kill bricks, turn that lamp off if you've got it on. And then this is where we've got to dodge the walls. If you get stuck a couple of times, that kraken's going to be on you. I didn't dare look behind me, it's that close. Through the wall, through the next one, and we have made it. I was sort of like, where do I go now? Where do I go now? There's no button or berry. But you will see the kraken swim to the gap and then the berry will appear. So chuffed to have finally got that one. That made me really happy, especially after that godforsaken maze. So we are back out now into Atlantis, and we are searching for those final shells. So luckily the shells are for seahorseberry. You don't need to talk to seahorseberry, thankfully, before you start the quest. But the beauty of this game is that you could leave it right now and then those seashells will still be with you. I love that your progress is saved. It makes it so less pressurised as a user and a gamer. I can, have a break, go off and do something else, and I know that my progress has been saved. So if you were in sort of Kraken's lair, those buttons are still going to be lit up. That entrance is still going to be there if you want to give that kind of swim thing a break. I love that this developer has thought about the user. I was convinced that there would be one inside of one of this seagrass. It was just like such a place to put a shell. This is where it sort of dawned on me I still had 3 shells to find, and I'd sort of swam round a little bit already. I was really surprised that this sort of area wasn't utilised for something, even if it's sort of like a little tunnel that you had to swim in, so swim down and swim in. Maybe something for an update for sort of starfish berry, or I don't know, a different whale berry, I don't know. Pufferfish berry. So we are back up at the teleport. And I think this one is Octopus's house, I think. So it's very neat and tidy. Coming down into the bathroom, and in their trash bin is the next shell. So that is shell number 4. Lovely hidden shell on top of sort of Octopus's house there, and that is shell number 1. This house is slightly more unkempt than Octopus. Shouldn't leave your fridge open. Again, it might be a nice place to put something like a food related berry inside of their fridge. and downstairs we have mermaid berry. Again, sort of for me, for Atlantis, it's probably not my most favourite map that they've done. You know, I would have sort of liked maybe some ruined temples, you know, those statues. What you kind of think of when you think of Atlantis. I know Kraken's lair is sort of the one temple, but it was the city of Atlantis, so you would think sort of, you know, a bit more on the old building front. So in the middle of the Atlantis area, so right opposite the Kraken's lair entrance, we have flounder berry inside of this rock, and I'm like, how am I gonna get in there? Like, I'm too fat, like my head's too big to fit in there. So I tried a few things. You can't really wiggle on the iPad when you're swimming. I just kind of like kept going above, but I put crouch on and then pushed forward and I got inside to get flounder. So if you're struggling, try and put crouch on. So just swimming down from spawn now, and we are collecting the last 2 shells. I can't tell you how long this took me. I did think the only area I haven't properly looked at was sort of the Kraken's lair, and I was right, because there is the next shell just outside the entrance, and that is shell number 2. And then again, this took me quite a while to find this. So again, starting at the spawn. And you know what is really frustrating? I must have swam past this and it didn't come up with a little notice to pick it up. But there's a weird little thing when you zoom in a bit further. That is the Atlantis shell number 6. And it's really well hidden. It's a bit unfair because it's blue in a blue coral, but it doesn't really stand out. So now we've got all 6 shells, we can go ahead and collect the seahorse berry. Quite a deceptively challenging quest, that. And then finally there is now a reset berry. So if you go and just reset or respawn. So going into the menu, respawn, reset, and this will give you the reset berry. And there we have it, another brilliant update to this game. I hope you enjoyed me talking to you this time. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.